Okay, thank you very much everybody for joining us today for the Clutersville March for Cape Independence. And we realise that here today, some people are here because they've been devoted to this cause for a very long time. But some people might be here today because they're just finding out about this cause too. So one thing that's important that we all understand is why are we here, whether we're long-time devotees or we're marching for the first time today for Cape Independence. And we're here for a handful of reasons that are very important. First of all, we're here to secure a better future for all of the people of the Western Cape. And when we say all of the people, we mean all of the people of the Western Cape. We're here to fight for justice, and we're here to fight for democracy. And when we say justice, we mean lots of types of justice. We mean moral justice, the justice of doing away with racism, giving people dignity to have jobs and employment and a future for themselves and their children. We're talking about social justice, a country that's better for us all, that we actually finally can do better. And we're talking about criminal justice, so finally we can get on top of crime, we can get on top of gangs, and most topical of all, we can get on top of dirty, greedy, corrupt politicians who are stealing our country and our future from us. And they might think they're getting away with it because they control the authorities, but they're not, because we're the people and we see that you're stealing from us. And we are saying enough. And we're here today to show people that the government works for us. Yes. They are our government. We are not responsible to them, they are responsible to us. Yes. And the last thing we're here for today is to say, what is going on in South Africa today, what is going on in the Western Cape today is not okay. We do not approve. We do not give our consent. Yes. So in the context of those, what does Cape Independence mean? Well, first and foremost, it means that the government of the Western Cape, whoever it may be, must be chosen by the people of the Western Cape. We've had 26 years, we've had a system where the Western Cape has never once given a majority support to the government of South Africa. Never have we got the government that we wanted. And we've got no prospect of ever getting the government that we want. And so long as that situation carries on, we haven't got democracy. The Western Cape does not have democracy. And only when we've got democracy can we change our lives for the better. Can we have the government responsible to us, so that if the government doesn't perform, we have the ability to remove the government and elect a different government that serves us. And without Cape Independence, we cannot do that. So last, Cape Independence is putting you, the people of the Western Cape, in charge. In a minute, what we're going to do is we're just going to march about 50 metres or 100 metres over the road to the town hall, where hopefully either the DA's mayor or a representative will be waiting for us, and we're going to hand over a petition. And that petition has been signed by Brian here on behalf of the Clutersville community, and we thank you for your support, we really do. It's been signed by Jack Miller, the leader of the Cape Party. Jack and your very vocal supporters, thank you for being here today. Yes. It's been signed by Des Palm for Cape Exit. Des, thank you and all that you've done, and your fantastic 600,000 mandates that are written and signed for Cape Independence. And it will be signed by the Freedom Front. We're just waiting for Peter. And Peter will sign on behalf of the Freedom will sign on behalf of the Freedom Front and die breinbemagtigbeweging. And we're just quickly going to read what the petition says, and then we're just going to march over there, we're going to hand it over, we'll take some photos in front of the town hall, and then we're going to come back. There is going to be some food that's going to be distributed free to everybody, there's water, and we'll have a couple of speeches, and then we'll call time on what has been a fantastic, fantastic morning, and thank you. So this is what we're asking of the DA. And we say the DA, we're asking for, because they are our government. They are the government, they're the elected government of Clutersville. They're the elected government of Stellenbosch, and at this point in time, they're the elected government of the Western Cape. And therefore, we don't expect the ANC to save us. They're not our government. We expect the government we elected to save us, and this is what we ask of them. They will never save us. We here present, as citizens of the Western Cape, do hereby call upon the Democratic Alliance, our duly elected provincial government, to publicly acknowledge the following as being true. 1. That the people of the Western Cape have emphatically demonstrated by their voting behaviour that collectively, regardless of individual race, religion or culture, that we are ideologically distinct from the rest of South Africa. 2. That the relationship between the Western Cape and South Africa has resulted in the collective people of the Western Cape being denied our political will and any reasonable prospect of ever having our political will enacted. 3. That the Western Cape has a unique history and culture, which includes the Aboriginal peoples or First Nation of South Africa, failing to respect... the Aboriginal peoples or First Nation of South Africa, their descendants, and the development of Afrikaans, a language developed in the province and which remains the most widely spoken language of the province. 4. That the relationship between the Western Cape and South Africa has been used to marginalise the Western Cape's historical culture, failing to respect the First Nation status of many of its people, debasing minority communities, and deliberately undermining the Afrikaans language. 5. That the relationship between the Western Cape is demographically distinct from the remainder of South Africa, where the largest racial group in the Western Cape is the so-called coloured people. And 6. That the relationship between the Western Cape and South Africa has been used to actively discriminate against the majority of Western Cape citizens on the basis of their race. 7. That the people of the Western Cape are entitled to self-determination under international law. And 8. That under the current political system, the people of the Western Cape do not have democratic self-determination and have no realistic prospect of ever having democratic self-determination. So that's that we're acknowledging, and then we're asking them to promise us 3 things, and then I'm done. Having acknowledged these statements as being true, we further call upon the Democratic Alliance to give the people of the Western Cape the following assurances. 1, I keep falling over. 1, that in the event that there is reasonable cause to believe that the majority of Western Cape citizens wish to break away from South Africa and create their own independent state, the Democratic Alliance will call a people's referendum on independence and agree to be bound by its outcome. 2, that in the event of having held a referendum, and where the people of the Western Cape have indicated the desire to break away from South Africa and form an independent state, the Democratic Alliance, as the elected representatives of the Western Cape people, will enter into good faith negotiations with the South African government to secure independence for the people of the Western Cape. And the final one, which is the important one, it's important we have teeth, that in the event that the South African government refuses to respect the democratically expressed wishes of the people of the Western Cape and seeks to impose its political will upon the people of the Western Cape against their wishes, that the Democratic Alliance will unilaterally pursue the remedial secession of the Western Cape following the principles and best practices of international law and politics. Mayor Gysi, we're coming. Okay, so we're just going to now quickly march up the street, just straight over there. It's about 50 metres. We're going to meet in front of the town hall. We're going to hand over the referendum. We'll take up the referendum, I wish. Hand over the petition. We'll take a couple of quick photos, and then we're coming back for food, drinks, and a couple of short speeches. Thank you.